Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2020 IISE Honors and Awards. I am David Poirier, President of IISE and CEO of the Poirier Group. I'm proud to host this event. At this year's conference, we're very excited to welcome attendees from all around the world. This diversity is reflected in those who we will honor. Our award recognition is in three parts. In addition to this ceremony, at the Monday keynote address, we recognized the winners for the Joint Publishers Book of the Year, IISE Transactions, and Best Track Paper Awards. Tomorrow, we will recognize the James W. Barony Student Award for Excellence, the Graduate Research Award, and the Pritzker Doctoral Dissertation Award. We will also acknowledge the Gold Awards for Professional Chapter Excellence, the Faculty Advisors, and Society and Division Awards. Now I'd like to introduce Popaya Bidanda, IISE's 2020-2021 President-elect. Popaya is the Ernest Roth Professor and Department Chair at the University of Pittsburgh. The 2020-2021 immediate past president is Jamie Rogers. Jamie is the professor and Regent's Outstanding Teacher at the University of Texas-Arlington. IISE honors the best and the brightest who have accomplished great things in academia and industry. We're honoring them as members, students, and friends. The UPS scholarships for female and minority students are awarded to undergraduate students enrolled in an industrial and systems engineering program or its equivalent and pursuing a course of study in ISE. The scholarship recipients must be nominated by faculty members and have at least a 3.40 GPA. The first UPS scholarship for female students is awarded to Kara Coombs at Wright State University. The second UPS scholarship for female students is awarded to Mamta Kanda at San Jose State University. The first UPS scholarship for minority students goes to Yenitha Chauhan at Texas A&M University. The second UPS scholarship for minority students goes to Margaret Gooden, Oklahoma State University. These four students have all excelled in their academic careers and community contributions. Congratulations to everyone. The UPS Foundation has distributed more than $116 million in global philanthropy through grants that benefit organizations or programs such as the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineers Scholarship Program, and provides support for building stronger communities. IISE is very proud to be associated with UPS. Now I would like to introduce David Brandt, Web Managing Editor at IISE, to announce the winners of the competitions. David.
The Innovations in Education competition is sponsored by CETA, the Council of Industrial Engineering Academic Department Heads. It is designed to recognize faculty members who demonstrate outstanding creativity in instructional approaches or curriculum organization. And the winner is Kaibo Liu, University of Wisconsin-Madison. Now in its 26th year is the IISE Rockwell Student Simulation Competition. 46 teams from 14 countries entered the competition this year. Students were asked to solve a case study inspired by a real-world manufacturing operation. This year's case study, Rockwell Shipping Conglomerate anticipates a 50% increase in the number of delivery trucks arriving to each of its shipping sites located along the river. Materials are then transported downstream to shipping and processing facilities. Rockwell is seeking guidance on how many barges should be assigned on each location, as well as how to minimize the expected increase in cost caused by the growth in volume. The students were provided with historical data and capacity restrictions at each of the facilities, along with the decision rules for how materials are moved between facilities. They were then asked to create a simulation model to analyze the system and deliver the recommendations on how Rockwell should proceed. The contest is administered in 2 8-week sessions, one session during the fall and a second during the winter. And the winners are First place is Binghamton University, BU Bearcats. Members include Kyla Tang, Summer Pershka, and Isabel Poptine. Second place goes to the University of Florida, the Sims 3. Members include Lauren Moore, Chase Jones, and Samantha Pertzis. Third place is Southern Illinois University Edwardsville, the Spoonbenders. Members include Brittany Booten, Jacob Moonchow, and Stephen Holdenreed. Rockwell sponsors this event to improve understanding of simulation and to give students a chance to execute a consulting project. Now, I'll turn it back over to David Poirier.
The Award for Technical Innovation honors a single innovative technical contribution to the ISE profession that may be in any of several forms, including theory, design, application, implementation, and leadership, to name a few. This year's honoree is Salil Desai. Salil is the University Distinguished Professor and Director of Center of Excellence in Product Design and Advanced Manufacturing at North Carolina A&T State University. Salil is recognized for his contributions to expanding the body of knowledge in advanced manufacturing through translatory research. His expertise includes smart cyber-physical systems, hybrid additive, nano and biomanufacturing, multi-physics modeling, regenerative tissue engineering, product design, and realization. He is the recipient of the Outstanding Investigator Awards from IISE, ASME, ASEE, SME, the White House Presidential Award for Excellence in Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Mentoring, NSF Career Award, and the Department of Defense and Oak Ridge National Laboratory. We would like to thank the Department of Industrial Engineering and Management Systems, University of Central Florida, for their sponsorship of this award. The Boeing Excellence Award for Collaboration in Productivity, Workplace Safety, and Ergonomics recognizes the strategy and policy deployment that is the context of work in the area of productivity, safety, and ergonomics. The award goes to Joel Haight. Joel is a professor of industrial engineering at the University of Pittsburgh, concentrating in the areas of productivity and human factors engineering. Prior to that, he worked 18 years for Chevron, 10 years as an associate professor at Penn State, and 4 years as a research manager at CDC NIOSH. Joel has published over 70 peer-reviewed scientific journal articles, book chapters, and papers, and has edited 8 books. He also served 4 years on the CDC NIOSH Board of Scientific Counselors, 6 years as a trustee on the American Society of Safety Engineers Foundation Board, and currently serves as the director on the American Society of Safety Professionals Board. We would like to thank Boeing Company for their sponsorship of this award. The Outstanding Early Career IE in Business and Industry Award recognizes individuals who have made significant contributions in the application, design, research, or development of ISE methods. This award recognizes individuals who have shown outstanding characteristics in leadership, professionalism, and potential in the field. The honor goes to Matt Purcell. Matt joined the Planning and Industrial Engineering, otherwise known as P&IE department, at Walt Disney Parks and Resorts in 2014 after graduating from Rochester Institute of Technology with a BS and ME in Industrial Engineering. Matt initially joined P&IE supporting distribution services with a focus on a food and beverage supply chain system replacement project. Matt then supported park operations at Magic Kingdom Park and Disney's Hollywood Studios. During his time at Hollywood Studios, Matt played a critical part in the opening of Toy Story Land and Star Wars: Galaxy's Edge, with a focus on implementation of crowd management, virtual queue, and attractions efficiency. Most recently, Matt moved to a leadership role in P&IE supporting strategic initiatives across theme parks. The Outstanding Middle Career in Leadership Award recognizes individuals working in industry who have excelled in their role as practicing manager and leader within their organization. The honor goes to Daniel Rubenstein. Daniel has a law degree as well as a Bachelor of Science in Engineering. He has a decade of experience providing strategic legal counseling to industry regarding regulator compliance requirements for food packaging materials and food ingredients. He leverages this experience to assist companies in proactively establishing compliance for products under the laws and regulations administered by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the European Union, and jurisdictions throughout Asia and South America. He speaks to professional organizations and trade associations about developing, implementing, and promoting good manufacturing practice strategies and standard operating procedures for regulated facilities, and has authored publications on this topic. The Fred C. Crane Distinguished Service Award recognizes an individual's contributions to the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineers through long and arduous service at the institute level. The honor goes to John Corliss. John is Vice President and Chief Engineer of Peer Consultants. John has worked with Secretary's Policy Office at the U.S. Department of Energy, as well led redevelopment efforts, being a college financial aid director, managed the installation of solar systems on municipal buildings, set up a community foundation, and established wastewater planning efforts. John is a fellow of the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineers, recently serving as the chair of the Council of Fellows. He's the founder of IISE's Sustainable Development Division and has served as chapter president, regional vice president, annual conference chair, and in many other volunteer roles. The next awards exemplify leadership. The fellows are a select group of IISE's most renowned members in academia and industry. They carry the highest status of membership in IISE and are regarded for their valuable contributions to the association and the profession as a whole. Since 1950, over 500 professionals have been named IISE Fellows. Our new class of 16 is every bit as distinguished as those who came before them. So, let's announce the new Fellows for 2020. Our first Fellow is Laura Albert. Laura is a professor of Industrial and Systems Engineering and a Harvey D. Spangler Faculty Scholar at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Her contributions include creating new operations research models to address important public sector problems in emergency response, homeland security, and critical infrastructure protection. Her research has made a significant impact on practice in multiple sectors. Laura also promotes the profession on her blog, Punk Rock Operations Research, and through her local and national media appearances. In addition, she was selected as the Fulbright Scholar. Congratulations. Our next fellow is Alexandre Dolgui. Alexandre is a distinguished professor and head of automation, production, and computer sciences department at IMT Atlantique campus in France. His research focuses on combinatorial and robust optimization in manufacturing line design, production planning, and supply chains, exact methods, and their intelligent coupling with heuristics and meta-heuristics. He published 5 books and edited 20. He has also authored 240 refereed journal papers. He is the editor-in-chief of the International Journal of Production Research, an area editor of Computers and Industrial Engineering, past associate editor of the International Journal of Systems Science, IEEE Transactions on Industrial Informatics, and Omega, member of the editorial boards of the International Journal of Production Economics and many other journals. Dan Epstein is our next fellow. Dan is the founder of ConAm Group, headquartered in San Diego. The ConAm Group is among the top privately owned apartment management ownership firms in the country and operates approximately 50,000 apartments throughout the United States. Dan serves on the USC Board of Trustees, is a member of the UCSD Rady School Dean's Advisory Council, and is on the Board of Trustees of the Sanford Burnham Medical Research Institute. He's a member of the Chief Executives Organization and Young Presidents Organization. He graduated from Bitterby School at USC in 1962 with a bachelor's degree in engineering. Next, let's congratulate Paul Griffin. Paul is the St. Vincent Health Chair and Director of Rogenstreif Center of Healthcare Engineering and IE faculty member at Purdue University. His research and teaching interests are in health systems, engineering, and health analytics. Prior to joining Purdue, Paul was the Joseph C. Mello Chair in the School of IISE at Georgia Tech. He has also served as the Peter and Angela Del Pezzo Department Head Chair in IME at Penn State. Paul began his career at Georgia Tech after completing his PhD in IE at Texas A&M University. Charles Hochstein is our next fellow. Charles is the Postal Service's supply management lead for retail systems. Previously, he led cybersecurity, optical sorting, and material handling supply management teams. Prior to joining the Postal Service, Charles was a design engineer, a systems test engineer, and an in-plant quality assurance manager. He is a 43-year member of the Institute and has served as president of our Southwest Connecticut and National Capital Area chapters. He's also the past president of the DC Council of Engineering and Architectural Societies. Next, we'd like to honor Robert Inman. Robert is a technical fellow in General Motors' Chief Data and Analytics Office. After earning a PhD in Industrial Engineering and Management Sciences from Northwestern University, he taught industrial engineering at Auburn University for 2 years. He joined General Motors in 1989, where he developed and implemented numerous industrial and systems engineering innovations in the areas of manufacturing systems, quality, supply chain, inventory control, and GM's network of franchise dealers. While at GM, he also served as a faculty advisor at the University of Michigan Tauber Institute for Global Operations for the past 8 years. Our next fellow is Erick Jones. Erick is George and Elizabeth Pickett Endowed Professor and Associate Dean for Graduate Studies in the College of Engineering at the University of Texas at Arlington. Erick also worked in industry as an IE at UPS and executive at a Big Five accounting firm. He was tenured at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and later served as Deputy Director of the UTA's Homeland Security-focused University Center. He has also served as a rotating program director at the National Science Foundation and served in 2 NSF directorates. Erick has received over $10 million in funding for academic research projects and published over 165 manuscripts, including 3 textbooks. He has advised 34 master's and 16 PhD students, along with undergraduate research students on sponsored research projects. He has been a member of IISE since 1993. Now let's honor Mohammad Khasawneh. Mohammad is a professor and chair of systems science and industrial engineering at Binghamton University. His research focuses on healthcare systems engineering. Mohammad currently serves as Associate Director for the Watson Institute for Systems Excellence. His research and scholarly activities have led to 59 refereed journal articles, more than 120 conference articles, 1 patent, and 2 new invention disclosures. In addition, his sponsored research efforts have generated over $10 million in external funding and over $39 million in in-kind software equipment grants. He received the State University of New York Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching in 2011, the University Award for Outstanding Graduate Director in 2015, and the University Award for Excellence in International Education in 2016. Our next new fellow is James Kong. He's a professor with the Grado Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering at Virginia Tech. Prior to joining Virginia Tech in 2013, he was a faculty member with the School of Industrial Engineering and Management at Oklahoma State University. His research focuses on sensing and data analytics for advanced manufacturing. His external research funding amounts to over $13 million, with a personal share of $4 million sponsored by federal agencies and industries. He has published 54 peer-reviewed journal papers. His research contributions have been recognized by 6 Best Paper Awards and featured 4 times by IISE publications. He served as a program co-chair for the 2016 IISE Annual Conference and Expo and was the president for IISE QCRE Division from 2015 to 2016. Now let's honor Jingsan Li. He was with GM R&D and University of Kentucky, and now is a professor in the Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering and Associate Director of Wisconsin Institute of Healthcare Systems Engineering, University of Wisconsin-Madison. He has published 2 textbooks, 7 book volumes, and over 250 refereed journal and conference papers. He's been a senior and associate editor of multiple flagship journals. He's an IEEE fellow and a distinguished lecturer. He received the NSF Career Award, IEEE Early Career Award, and multiple Best Paper Awards. His primary research interests are in design, analysis, and control of production and healthcare systems, supported by manufacturing and healthcare organizations. Susanna Long is our next fellow. Susanna is a professor and department chair at the Department of Engineering Management and Systems Engineering at Missouri University of Science and Technology. She has internationally recognized research expertise in critical infrastructure systems management. Susanna has received research awards totaling almost $18 million and has more than 150 publications. She has led national research teams focused on post-disaster restoration of critical infrastructure. These efforts utilize complex adaptive systems and agent-based modeling techniques that integrated quantitative and qualitative inputs to create real-time decision tools. She currently serves as Technical Vice President of IISE and is a Fellow of ASEM, among many honors. Now let's congratulate Brad Parrish. Brad serves as Vice President of Engineering at FedEx Supply Chain, where he oversees multiple support teams, including field and corporate engineering, project management, new business implementations, and quality. He has worked for FedEx Enterprise for over 24 years. He has served as a senior IISE member and industry advisory board chairman, and was a past national IISE conference presenter. He is the past chairman of the West Virginia University IMSE Visiting Committee and was inducted into the WVU Academy of Industrial Engineers in 2005 and later served as Academy president. Susan Schall is our next fellow. Susan is founder and lead consultant at SOS Consulting. She has spent her career solving productivity and quality problems across industries, saving over $250 million and transforming small manufacturers to compete today and tomorrow. Susan is a supporter of engineering education, serving Penn State Engineering's IE Industrial Professional Advisory Council and Women in Engineering Advisory Council. She also supports her local high school's Project Lead the Way engineering program. She has served IISE 28 years with ABET. Before consulting, Susan held technical roles at Kodak, DuPont, GE Lighting, and R.R. Donnelley. She is an ASQ certified quality engineer, ASQ certified manager of quality and organizational excellence, and Six Sigma Master Black Belt. Now let's honor Julie Swan. Julie is the department head and A. Doug Allison Distinguished Professor of the Fitz Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering, North Carolina State University. She's an adjunct professor in the Joint Department of Biomedical Engineering at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Prior to joining NC State, she was the Harold R. and Mary Ann Nash Professor in the Stewart School of Industrial and Systems Engineering at the Georgia Institute of Technology, where she co-founded and co-directed the Center for Health and Humanitarian Systems, one of the first interdisciplinary research centers on the Georgia Tech campus. In 2009, she was on loan as a science advisor for the H1N1 pandemic response at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Bill Tolo is our next fellow. Bill recently retired as Senior Manager Optimization and Supply Chain Engineering for Best Buy. He was a project engineer combining industrial engineering analytical skills with qualitative leadership principles to improve business performance. Bill ensured that new facilities are operationally ready to support growth, optimize storage within existing distribution centers, and increased workforce efficiency and equipment utilization. He's been at the leading edge for expansion of e-commerce capabilities across the supply chain. Prior to Best Buy, Bill was an engineer at Macy's, Marshall Field Stores and Distribution, Unisys, Teledyne, and RCA Consumer Electronics. Teresa Wu is our final new fellow of 2020. Teresa is a professor of industrial engineering in the School of Computer Informatics Decision Systems Engineering, Arizona State University, and a professor of radiology in the College of Medicine at the Mayo Clinic. She has extensive experience in data-driven decision modeling for different applications, including medicine and energy. She is the founding co-director of the ASU Mayo Center for Innovative Imaging. Teresa has received various awards, including the NSF Career Award and IBM Faculty Award. She was editor-in-chief for IISE Transactions on Healthcare Systems Engineering from 2016 to 2020. Congratulations to the new IISE Fellows. You are truly joining a distinguished group of leaders. The next awards are granted to some of the finest and most dedicated industrial and systems engineering professionals of this generation. Their contributions have strengthened the profession as well as the image of industrial and systems engineering. The Medallion Award recognizes individuals who have made a notable impact on the industrial and systems engineering profession through exceptional leadership. This impact may be in the form of developing and promoting young engineers, creating a body of knowledge for the profession, developing innovative educational materials, and/or applying industrial and systems engineering to significantly impact the productivity of a company. This year's honoree is Kenneth Case. Ken is Regents Professor Emeritus of IEM at Oklahoma State University. During a 35-year academic career that included Virginia Tech and Oklahoma State, he served IISE in several capacities, including as a president in 1986 and 1987. He received the Frank and Lillian Gilbreth Industrial Engineering Award in 2002 and also served as the president for the American Society for Quality from 2003 to 2004 and received ASQ's Distinguished Service Medal in 2014. He was elected to both the National Academy of Engineering and the International Academy for Quality in 1990 and served on a panel of judges for the Baldrige Award from 1991 to 1993. In addition to his academic career, Ken has consulted extensively in quality for 40 years. Congratulations, Ken.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ken Case. My wife, Lynn, and I are sure sorry we aren't able to be with you at an IISE conference somewhere. It just wasn't to be this year, possibly next year. We'll see. I'd like to begin by thanking the IISE staff and our many volunteers involved in the honors and awards process. It's a very difficult task, the sheer volume and then the hard decisions at the end make it a very challenging thing to do. And I just want everyone to know, I think all the recipients, as a matter of fact, probably everybody is very appreciative of your work. This is supposed to be an acceptance speech, so I'd like to formally accept receipt of the Medallion Award. It's a beautiful award. As a matter of fact, I should tell you, I've had it for several months. It's prominently displayed in my home office, and I'm very pleased to have received it, although it was quite a surprise. I'd also like to express my appreciation to those who put in a nomination for me on this award. They were Lee Blank, past IISE president, Sundaresh Haragu, head of industrial engineering and management at Oklahoma State University, and Sundaresh does just an incredible job. Greg Watson. Greg is a U.S. citizen living in Finland and one of the very top people in the quality world today. And then the person I think is the most outstanding industrial engineer over the past 50 years, and that's John White, former chancellor at the University of Arkansas. So thank you to each of them. I'd like to leave you with just one thought in particular to our younger watchers here, and that is, I'll jump right to the bottom line, stay involved with IISE for the networking, the continued learning, and all the things that go with a major society in your home base field. Now, many of you will take positions and say, well, I'm not an industrial engineer anymore. I've heard that so many times. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. You're still an industrial engineer. But you've added on to that. And unfortunately, industrial engineering is a broad enough field with enough skills, tools, logic, process approach, etc., to really help you out no matter what specific field you might choose. So hang in there with IISE among other societies. Thank you very much.
The Albert G. Holtzman Distinguished Educator Award recognizes outstanding educators who have contributed significantly to the ISE profession through innovative teaching, research, publication, and administration. This year's Albert G. Holtzman Distinguished Educator Award goes to Kailash Bafna. Kailash has been an educator for the past 51 years. In addition to teaching facilities design, he has taught engineering economy for engineering and technology majors for over 4 decades. Over the past 15 years, he's conducted research on the best learning methods for the millennial generation and has implemented the use of the latest technologies into the delivery of his courses. He's also made presentations on his new course delivery techniques to several groups internationally. He now teaches all his courses as hybrid classes, offering greater flexibility to the learner and better preparing them for lifelong learning. Congratulations, Kailash.
It is truly an honor for me to receive the 2020 Albert G. Holtzman Distinguished Educator Award. This is even more meaningful to me as I retired just 2 months ago. During my academic career spanning 50 years, I taught at Purdue University, Georgia Tech, University of Wisconsin, and Western Michigan University, where I spent the last 41 years. My 50 years in the field of education have clearly been divided into 2 parts. The first 35 years were spent as a traditional educator, teaching in the classroom, conducting research, advising students, and executing administrative duties. 15 years ago, I developed interest in the millennial generation, their unique characteristics, and how these affected their learning outcomes. Since this generation of students has grown up in the digital age, I started experimenting with different forms of technology and its impact on their learning outcomes. I used different methods of recording lectures, making them available on the internet to view at home and to take online exams. As a result of my research, I taught all of my undergraduate courses solely online and as hybrid classes for the past 10 years. I have had great success in delivering my educational materials using these methods and found that the overall class GPA was half a letter grade higher than when I used traditional methods. Little did I know that I was ready to teach my courses with 100% efficiency a decade before COVID forced all educators to go online. While I have your attention, let me briefly share another achievement that has also greatly contributed towards my perspectives as an educator. After leaving Georgia Tech in 1975, my wife, 7-year-old son, and I drove from Atlanta, Georgia to New Delhi, India. We shipped our car from New York across the Atlantic and picked it up in Antwerp, Belgium. We spent 10 weeks driving to India, visiting 19 countries, and driving over 14,000 miles across Western and Eastern Europe, the Middle East, Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. This trip was truly a memory of a lifetime and developed my appreciation for different cultures, thus advancing my teaching career. In closing, I would like to thank the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineers for honoring me with this award. Most importantly, I want to thank my wife, Vimla, for supporting me in everything that I've done in the past 56 years. I owe all my success to her, never-ending love and encouragement. Thank you.
The David F. Baker Distinguished Research Award recognizes individuals for significant contributions to the advancement and progress of industrial and systems engineering through outstanding research activity. This year's winner is Valdemar Karvovsky. Valdemar is Pegasus Professor and Chairman at the Department of Industrial and Engineering and Management Systems and Executive Director of the Institute for Advanced Systems Engineering at the University of Central Florida in Orlando. He's a past president of the International Ergonomics Association and the Human Factors and Ergonomics Society. He served on the Committee on Human Factors, Human Systems Integration, National Research Council, the National Academy, USA. He has over 500 publications and serves as co-editor-in-chief of Theoretical Issues in Ergonomics Science Journal and editor-in-chief of the new journal on Human Intelligent Systems Integration. Congratulations, Valdemar.
Good evening. I'm honored to receive the David Baker Distinguished Research Award and join the ranks of the outstanding researchers who have been honored previously with this award. I am particularly pleased to join the small but distinguished group of awardees from the Human Factors and Ergonomics discipline, including Mo Ayub, Dan Chaffin, Bill Maras, and John Khasawneh. The work in the Human Factors and Ergonomics is of the utmost importance, as industrial engineering is all about people. As we all know, the integration of people and systems is the foundation of our discipline, beginning with the work of Frank and Lillian Gilbreth and their time and motion studies. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Gabriel Salvende for his nomination and Bill Maras, Timothy Green, and Dylan Schmorrow for their support and recommendation letters. I would also like to thank my wife, Bella, for her extraordinary support over the last 40 years. I would like to express my appreciation to all my collaborators, first at the University of Louisville, where I started my career, and currently at the University of Central Florida, and all other places and researchers I had the opportunity to collaborate with over the last years. And also, I thank my current and former PhD students who contributed to my research efforts. The fruits of these collaborations are evidenced in our jointly published work. An outstanding example is a recent paper published in Frontiers in Neuroscience with Farzad Farhani, my PhD student, who received his PhD in Industrial Engineering from UCF this summer. In this paper, we reviewed applications of graph theory to the modeling of the human-brain connectivity. Since its publication in June last year, this paper has had over 32,000 views and over 1,900 downloads. More than 98% of all papers published in Frontiers. Clearly, this is also a testimonial to the contributions of the industrial and systems engineering discipline to the advancing of knowledge of science. Again, this award is an honor not only to me, but the Human Factors and Ergonomics discipline. Thank you very much.
Many of you have devoted countless volunteer hours to make IISE the outstanding association that it is. The presidents who lead the Board of Trustees are dedicated to the profession as well as to IISE. Jamie Rogers is the immediate past president of IISE and has done an outstanding job serving as the president-elect and president. Jamie, please say a few words.
It has truly been an honor and a privilege to have served as your 2019-2020 IISE president. IISE is the widely recognized inclusive organization that advances, promotes, and unites the industrial and systems engineering profession worldwide. The Strategic Plan 2020 is well underway, supported by 4 pillars. Integrate the profession worldwide. Include all for diversity, equity, and cultural prosperity. Strengthen the image, advocacy, and impact of ISE professionals. And excel in customer experience for members, partners, and affiliates. This year, 2020, has certainly been disruptive, difficult, stressful, and tragic for so many people. But it proves that the ISE profession is more important than ever. Whether there's a problem in healthcare, manufacturing, supply chain, distribution, logistics, you name it, ISE professionals have the tools and leadership capability to make things better. Our IISE mission states, we serve those who solve the complex and critical problems of the world. Mohammad Gandhi has said, the difference between what we do and what we're capable of doing would suffice to solve most of the world's problems. United States Congressman John Lewis has stated, we must be the change that we seek if we're to effectively demand transformation from others. Wow, spoken like an industrial and systems engineer. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, RGB, so famously said, real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. And she went on to state, fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. Thank you to the ISE professionals who advance our profession through your leadership and service. Thank you to the excellent staff team in place at IISE headquarters. This is the time for the ISE profession to shine, and I am confident that the future will be even more exciting for IISE. And yes, I do want to see 30,000 member partners for life by 2030. Together, we can do it.
Thank you, Jamie, for everything you have done and continue to do. Now, the Frank and Lillian Gilbreth Industrial Engineering Award is the highest and most esteemed honor bestowed by IISE. It recognizes those who have distinguished themselves through contributions to the welfare of mankind in the field of industrial and systems engineering. The contributions are of the highest caliber and nationally or internationally recognized. We would like to honor Deborah Nightingale. Debbie is a university distinguished professor at University of Central Florida and formerly was a professor of practice at MIT. She served as the director of Socio-Technical Systems Research Center and led a consortium of industry and government organizations focused on lean enterprise transformation. Prior to that, she was an executive at Allied Signal and a researcher at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in the Human Engineering Lab. She's the lead author of 2 books, Beyond the Lean Revolution, Achieving Successful and Sustainable Enterprise Transformation, and Architecting the Future Enterprise. She was IISE's first woman president, a fellow of IISE, and member of the National Academy of Engineering. Congratulations, Debbie.
Hello, everyone. It's truly an honor to be named this year's Frank and Lillian Gilbreth Award winner. It's the highlight of my career. I have to thank Dr. Stan Settles, who's also a Gilbreth Award winner, for getting me involved in IISE. Years ago, I worked for Stan at Allied Signal, now Honeywell, and he suggested that I run for a division leadership office. To my surprise, I won. And that was the beginning of a long 40+ years of involvement with IISE. That same year, Dr. Joe Mize, also a Gilbreth Award winner, and now a dear friend and colleague, was working with us at Allied Signal while he was on sabbatical. I went to my first IISE annual conference that year, and Joe invited me to participate in the past president's reception. There I saw all these people that I had been following their work, had their books, I was using their research in my own work, and it was a real thrill to actually interact with them. Little did I know that I would get to go on and work with most of them on a personal and professional basis as I got more and more involved in IISE. In fact, if I looked at the list of the last 30 years of Gilbreth Award winners, I had the privilege of knowing all of them and working with many of them. Some of the highlights include the years when Jim Tompkins was president. I also had a chance to work with Ken Case and John White, Lee Blank, and many, many more. It was a real thrill to work with them back then and to also to continue to interact with them now. IISE has served me well over the last 40 years and was the best career and personal decision I have made to get involved. As a result, I have interacted with and met people from all over the world in my roles as president, on the board, as a member of CIE, and since then working on a number of different committees, etc. One of the people that I got to meet and interact with extensively was our current president, David Poirier. I now consider him a close friend and colleague. My industrial and systems engineering education and work experience has taught me to take a systems approach to nearly everything I do. It started with my work at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where I was doing man-machine modeling and simulation in the human engineering laboratories. And I had the opportunity there to work with the giant in our field, Dr. Alan Pritzker. After that, I then moved into working in manufacturing as a system in my work at Allied Signal, and eventually looking at the whole enterprise as a system. In order to do this kind of work, I found that I needed to look at all the pieces, including the processes, the technology, the information, and particularly the people. As IEs, we are the people engineers, and this is probably the most important component of any system. It requires that we look at things very holistically and use both our left brain and our right brain, and in an integrated fashion. As I think we've all learned, is that sometimes the hard stuff is the soft stuff, and the people are integral to the success of every good system. Eventually, I went on in my role at MIT to look at very large and complex systems. And then during that time, I created a research center called the Socio-Technical Systems Research Center, which truly brought together the people with the technology. And we looked at things like healthcare systems, we looked at transportation systems, and we looked at very large areas such as post-traumatic stress disorder as a system within the military. It was really exciting to take all the things that I had learned in systems thinking and apply them to large, contemporary, complex issues. My relationships with colleagues at IISE has also served as a tremendous gateway to other opportunities in my career. This includes election to the National Academy of Engineering, to many different kinds of consulting roles, and even to my most recent position as distinguished professor at University of Central Florida. It's been an amazing experience and I've created and developed so many deep friendships with so many of you out there. So my advice to other IEs is to get involved with the Institute, get involved in serving in different activities, and most importantly, network. The networks you can develop with IISE can serve you for your whole career and certainly have for mine. Lastly, I would like to thank my family. Their support has been invaluable throughout my career. In particular, I'd like to thank my daughter, Jessica, and my son, Jordan. They had both planned to be with me when we were going to have the conference in New Orleans, but I know they're with me now in spirit. So a special thank you, Jessica and Jordan. In summary, I just really can't tell you how really personally thrilled I am to be receiving this award tonight. And I really, really value all the friendships and relationships that I have with so many of you. Thank you.
Congratulations to all our honorees. We'd like to thank you all for joining us as we honor our students, colleagues, and fellow contributors to the industrial and systems engineering profession. I hope you are enjoying an excellent conference.